Good afternoon. I often hear, and I'm pretty sure that almost also you have heard this quite often in social gatherings, club meetings, events, and parties. People complaining that we have lost those glorious times, that those glorious days of well being and happiness, and people usually talk nostalgic about the past. You hear that very often, come across that. They tend to vilify the present one way or the other. So, why do we do that in the first place? Why do we live today in so much of anxiety, so much of stress, unhappiness, loneliness, and depressions? Why? Why we are getting more and more of those weird mental and physical illnesses in today's modern day life? Why? Have you ever wondered about that? The reason is very simple, and even the researchers have proven that as species, humans, we are interdependent social tribe. The way we understand ourselves and what we want and what we lack is always relative to the circle we are in, we are a part of, and to the people surrounded to us. We understand and know our status only when we compare ourselves to, in comparison and contrast to others in our tribe, in our social circle. Whether we are satisfied and happy depends largely to whom we are comparing to in our life. If you would ask a homeless man who has got two full meals a day and make him compare with another homeless man who is getting one meal a day, he is going to feel himself the king within his tribe. Yet, we have people in the society, in this modern world, who, if do not get that latest model of the designer bag of Louis Vuitton, or they start feeling miserable. I have this feeling if I don't get something which usually I'm admiring around, because I am a human being. I get that all the time. You get that feeling when you want that you complain to the friends that in that circle you are sitting in. I would like to have that, and you feel bad that you don't have it, or sometimes it can even go worse. The thing is that prior to the mid 2000, before the evolution of the social media what we have today, an average human being had about maximum 50 to 70 people, you could call it as the inner circle, friends, families, and relations, and etc. Social can go up to 100 to 150 as a wider circle of acquaintances and friendships. This was one way of having that satisfaction, and you could say that was the basis of all the happiness you could get in the world. You had these 50 to 70 close friends, and then you have got a wider acquaintance of 100 to 150 people maximum. This was what we had till the incoming of the social media and the internet age. That was the total circle you had around you, and you're happy, satisfied with it. Usually, these connections of what we had were of the same social economy realm and the same neighborhood. Is the reason that happiness was there, and we feel it all the more with nostalgia. Now, what happens is with the popularity of the social media, suddenly every one of us has got connections, not 50 or 70, not 100 or 150, but limitless connections. There is no limit to your connections on social media. Go and figure out what does that mean. That means your power of relative comparison has become unlimited. And now you have unlimited people whom you could compare yourself to. So you could relate to these limitless people. How your body, your life, your relationships are measured up in comparison to others, to theirs. The irony of this is that this comparison is not even real for you. Now you're passing through some boring day, let's say, and maybe you are free and you don't have anything to do, so you start scrolling and thumbing through the social media, Instagram, and obviously you see these flashes of lives of the people you know there and you're following. You are there basically on the social media because you are bored. You got nothing to do, so you are just whiling away your time on the social media scrolling. Unless you have got a business on the internet or on the social media, or you have got some learnings going on there, which I would understand. You are thumbing across the profiles just for nothing. You see the average heads there and you see your life and you start comparing to those average heads. These average heads, you may not be knowing, may be highly staged. They may be highly staged. One way or the other, probably not authentic. They are just filtered and made flashed for you to have this, and this can be created a ripple effect of comparison and relative status symbol in you. A very common disease. This tribal social psychology runs so deep within us that even though we know that majority of these flashes are set up, they still make you insecure, unhappy, isolated, and depressed. They can give you the feeling of dissatisfaction and envy and FMO, the fear of missing out, feeling of missing out on something. The isolation triggers you towards that state of depression, mental illness, physical illness, and for the medical situations. The point I'm making today, that is, it is something very important that we control our consumption of the social media in the right way. This could be one of the major reasons of unhappiness. Love it or not, this is one of the reasons why there is a huge spike in depression, loneliness, and if you see the statistics researchers have done after the 2000s, 2005, and after 2010 and 11, there has been a huge spike in the depression level, loneliness, and mental disorders. They have spiked through high. Suicide rates have gone up. I'm not talking about the teenager problems we have seen on the social media. So if you are feeling excited and not so happy about the things, and even after we are living in the best of the times in the human history, whether this is a time of opportunities and we never had this type of opportunity and time when you had everything within your control and you could achieve whatever you want in your life, and still have these feelings ongoing of depression, loneliness, unhappiness, suicidal, and all these mental and physical disorder symptoms. That's the irony of the state of the affairs, I would say. This is the major result of our tribal social psychology we have in our minds, inbuilt, inculcated within us. I know it's going to be the same as you had before the. It's never going to be the same as you had before the internet, right? It is going to be different. The world is changed. So you are not going to be living without the social media. I do understand that. But there is always an option. Now, once you understand the reasons, it's much easier to have the control over the things what you are consuming. What are you learning? Are you getting the benefit out of it? Are you having a business out of the social media? That's fine. But so long it works as a blessing and you understand the pros and cons of it, you are in a much happier position to control your happiness. That's the catch here. I have fixed filters on what I do for myself. I do on the social media now, and I'm going to make them more and more useful and serving to me than me, some not needed causes, and creating that atmosphere of unhappiness and sadness. The filters are important, the causes are important, the end result is important. Take your control of your happiness level, and it's all within your reach and within your hand.